Habs Empire, are you ready to rock it?
We all wore the same costume as Maurice Richard did, the red, white, and blue costume of the Montreal.
You know, it's unbelievable to play in the NHL as a player, but to get to live this these do or die situation in terms of you're moving on or you're done, scoring the big goal, the overtime, that feeling that a player has, it's unbelievable. And I'm so happy that they're getting to live that.
Habs coach Martin St. Louis on what his team is going through right now. What a thrilling overtime win in Game 7 for the Habs last night in Buffalo against the Sabres. The 3-2 win with Alex Newhook playing the hero. The Habs now have a challenge ahead of them as they face the Carolina Hurricanes in the third round of the playoffs. They'll be in Carolina for Game 1 on Thursday. Let's welcome Brendan Kelly, a columnist over at the Montreal Gazette, the What the Puck column in particular for this hockey segment. Brendan, welcome back to the program.
Morning, Elias.
Okay, first things first, was it ever in doubt?
Yeah, of course it was. Of course it was. I mean, you're right. I mean, it was like, again, there's a lot of similarities with this Game 7 and the last Game 7 against the Tampa Bay Lightning where they got 9 shots and a whole period with no shots. Okay, they got more shots, but what did they get in the third period last night? I think 4 shots. They were handily dominated by Buffalo for periods 2 and 3. But you know what? The final result is what counts, and it was a win. But, it was in doubt. I mean, it was definitely... Game 7's a coin toss, right? I mean, I wouldn't call it. All my friends are like, what are you saying, going into the game? I said, I'm not calling it. It could go either way because it's been a crazy series. Like, look at Saturday night. Like, Montreal just, whatever you want to call it. It was not pretty. I'm thinking of some words I wouldn't say on the radio.
Well, they laid an egg.
But they destroyed Buffalo in 3 of the games in the series. So Buffalo was terrible 3 games. Montreal was terrible 1 game. They were not great last night. They got off to a great start. But yeah, it was in doubt. So, but there's something about this team, Elias?
Well, that's why that's why I asked the question because tongue in cheek, it's been all doubt. It seems like there's just been nothing but doubt with this team. Yet here they are. They keep winning when it matters. And I wonder if you have an explanation for how Martin St. Louis and his squad keep doing it.
Well, you know what? I'll keep it simple. 2 words: Jakub Dobesh. I mean, the team's been great, but honestly, how many nights, including last night, including the other Game 7, they don't win it without this guy? I mean, this guy he's now being compared to Ken Dryden with good reason, because he's doing as good as Ken Dryden did in 1971. He's doing as good as Patrick Roy did in 1986. That's tough. He hasn't got, through the conference final, but up until now, this guy's been in reason number 1. But there's something about the team, I mean, we've been talking about this, and you and I have talked about it a lot. There's something special about this team. There's something that Martin St. Louis has created. There's a family spirit. There's a resilience. Youngest team in the NHL, but there's no give up. So they're young, so they make mistakes. Like on Saturday night, clearly the pressure was too much. They can't play at home. They've got problems at home. Their first line has been, let's face it, very disappointing. And yet they've won against the second best team in the East, which is Buffalo. They've also won against the third best team in the East, which is Tampa Bay. And now they're going to play the first team in the East, which is Carolina. And you know what? All the pundits, again, I mean, don't they learn anything? Elias, do they watch hockey? Apparently not. Oh, well, it's going to be Carolina. Can't be. You said that about Tampa. You said that about Buffalo. And guess what? Who's still standing?
The Montreal Canadiens. And let me tell you, Brendan, I was watching Jakub Dobesh interviewed on ESPN on SportsCenter last night in the United States. And he's like, hey, listen, he embraced it. None of you thought we were going to win. We're the underdogs. And he seemingly is very content at being deemed the underdog. Now, Brendan,
and I think he likes that because, look, he was the underdog all season. It's like Montembeau's the goalie. You're the backup. You're playing great, but we're going to go with Montembeau. And he fought. And remember when he said at one point, I don't deserve to be sent back to Laval. This guy, man, Elias, he is a fighter. I loved when I was Dahlin, that he just took the slash and hit him right in the nuts. You want to push me?
Yeah.
You want to push me around? Just effing try it, And also, what a personality. He's a goofball, right? I'm just a goofy goalie who goes home to watch Game of Thrones. Well, apparently not, Maybe you do go home and watch Game of Thrones, but is he not the best goalie in hockey right now who's still standing?
Well, there's no question he's a big part of why the Canadiens are where they are. But, Brendan, I want to get to one thing that you've brought up online and in columns, and perhaps the pressure of the Bell Center. There's no denying that there has been a difference on this team on the road versus at home. And I think you're one of those people that are saying that maybe some of the ceremony stuff, some of the hype at home, perhaps is too much on this young squad. Tell me a little bit more about your thoughts on this.
Well, you know what? I've got tarred and feathered for those comments. I was on with your colleague Mitch Melnick and John Still from TSN 690, and they were like, what are you talking about? Well, you know what? Saturday night comes, and they can't take the pressure. They've got one regulation win in the entire playoffs at the Bell Center. So whether it's opening ceremony or it's just the hysteria of this new generation of fans, they're not playing well at home. Now, to be fair, Buffalo wasn't playing well at home as well. I mean, I think it's come to a situation where maybe in the playoffs, most teams play better on the road. But you know what? I get it. They love the ceremony. It's good for the Canadiens brand. It sells sweaters. It sells beer. It sells tickets. But it does not help them win hockey games.
Well, I'm just wondering, what's the alternative, Brendan? You know what I mean? I know some teams, they're staying in hotels, even in their home city, to try and make it feel like they're on the road. But, I mean, what's the alternative? Oh, you have a playoff game and you don't do a special ceremony?
No, you know what's the best? The line of the week is a buddy of mine texts me. He says, you know what we got to do, Elias? We got to go back to the COVID rules. No fans. That's when the Habs... Listen, that's how they got to find... Course was kidding, and the reality is, I think my comments online sparked a great debate, and at the end of the day, people said, and the smart people responding as opposed to the not-so-smart ones, you know what? You're playing in the National Hockey League. You're playing in the best hockey league in the world. You're elite professional athletes. So you guys suck it up, and there's pressure, and you should live for the pressure. That's why I always said, remember all those years when, people don't want to come to Montreal, they don't want to play in Montreal because of the pressure? Well, you know what? If you're that guy, if you're Daniel Briere who turned it down, we don't need you because we want people. This. You hear Sidney Crosby complaining about the pressure? Do you hear Alex Ovechkin or Wayne Gretzky in his prime? This is what you're supposed to live for.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's the thing about being a young team, and they're the youngest team. The core of the team, like the veteran guy is Nick Suzuki, who's, I don't know how old he is, say 25, 26. They don't have, in 1986, and there's a lot of similarities with 86, and we're seeing it more and more, Bob Gainey was captain. So Bob Gainey could come into the room. Literally, Chris Nyland told me this. Nyland was a rookie, and he said it was Game 7 against, in fact, Hartford that became Carolina, and going into overtime. And he comes into the room, says Knuckles, and he says, Bob Gainey told him, he said, just push pucks to the net, move it forward, do not panic. Like that. And it sounds like cliches, but you need people like that, and they don't have that guy. Who would be that guy on the Habs? It's Sagis Pa. So I think it's about being a young team. But look, this whole thing, they're the youngest team in the NHL. The crazy thing here, Elias, management did not think they would be there. If they thought they were going to compete for the Stanley Cup, they would have picked up people at the trade deadline. They didn't think this was going to happen. Are they happy? Of course. But this team is 2 years ahead of schedule. They could win the Stanley Cup.
You know what? I tell you
They
something, and I think they've got a shot, whether it's fate or luck or for any of those reasons or just a hot goalie. But what's interesting here is that this young group is getting an education on what it takes to win in the NHL playoffs. And even if they don't go all the way this year, it sets them up for success in the future.
But you know what? I'm not making that argument anymore, Elias. They can win the Stanley Cup. If Jakub Jobesch plays like he played last night, it's as simple as that. Like when you have the best pitcher in baseball, you can win even if you don't have the best team. if this guy stops every puck, which he's doing, I mean, some of the saves he's been making are just off the charts. I was at the Bell Center last night, for the viewing party, and when he was making these saves, I mean, people were losing their minds, and that's what happened in 1986, right? There was a rookie goalie, Patrick Roy, and he stopped everything. And you know what? Because it was never just Patrick Roy. And if Dobes makes these saves, and I'm telling you, and you know it, you're watching the games, this is a great team. They're a great team. I could totally see them beating Carolina, for one thing.
Brendan, listen, I just hear it in your voice. You really, you know what? They really could do it, and I feel it in your voice that you truly believe it. I got to leave it there. Come back soon, okay?
Absolutely. The dream continues, Elias.
The dream continues. Brendan Kelly from the What the Puck column over at the Gazette.
The newest tracks. Let's go. New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice. Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers. Powered by North by Northeast Music Festival. Taking place June 10th to 14th across Toronto. iHeart New Music. Stream now, online, on your smart speaker, and preset on the free iHeartRadio app.